Good morning, sir. Excuse me, sir. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Bastian Ezra Christofer Simatupang. I'm from class Technical 3 Bravo. Today, I'm going to do a presentation about boilers. This is for the Maritime English assignments. Of course. So today, I would like to take the topic of the marine boilers, such as the consists of firstly, the basic of the boilers. And number 2 is the working types and the parts. And number 3 is the applications. And number 4 is the maintenance. So firstly is the basic of the boilers. So this is the boilers. The picture, this is the boilers. And what are the marine boilers on board the ships? So I would like to explain that the marine boilers are one of the most important machinery on board the ships. So it is a device which produce steams for the marine propulsions or for auxiliary machinery. So to be precise, it is a closed vessel containing water or other liquids which is heat to produce steams, which can also be used for cleaning and heating of the seawater in the freshwater generator. And also, therefore, the boilers evaporating it to make it potable waters. So the steam generator is the other names for the marine boilers, as it converts water into the steams. You will never see a ships without boilers. In some ships, there are more than 2 boilers, especially for steam powered ships, which requires high temperature and high pressure steams. Meanwhile, ships carrying diesel engine as marine propulsion system, 1 or 2 smaller boiler can also run different ships machinery. So next, I would like to explain about the working of the boilers. So the main work of the boilers is to produce high pressure steam. The feed water provided to the boiler drums exploits the heat of the energy by burning the fuel. So the energy of the burning fuel is kept in the reserve in the form of the high temperature and pressure. So in the combustion chamber, inside of the boilers, burning of the fuel takes place to achieve efficiency and combustions. So air is supplied to this combustion chamber, and the heat generated in combustion chamber is then transferred to the water via large surface area, which allows the highest rate of the energy transfer. Okay, so this is the type of the marine boilers. The boilers, there are 2 basic types of the marine boilers, which are used in the maritime industry, namely the water tube boilers and also the fire tube boilers. So I would like to explain firstly for the water tube boilers. So the water tube boiler is the type of boilers in which the water is heated inside tubes and the hot gas are around them. So to be precise, the water circulates in the tubes, which is then externally heated by fire. By the usage of these boilers, more steam is generated and the overall efficiency of the boiler is high. Water tube boilers are widely used as designs of the boilers are quite suitable and for the application purpose. So of course, water tube boilers consist of the 2 drums. A set of the water tubes feed water channel lines and the combustion gas fan stack. So the parts of the water tube boilers consists of the boiler cell, So in the boiler cell can function is this external cylinder part of the pressure containers, and also the mud drum. Mud drum is this drum which is beneath of the boilers and accumulates the impurities such as mud and sediments. And we now look at the steam drum. So in the steam drum is collection vessel of water and steam. And also the stainer. So in the stainer is function, it is used to as a colanders to hold up the solid elements while allowing the liquid supplies. And also the water walls. The water walls is used to extract heat from the fuel to generate steam. And also the side glass. The side glass is function to on the steam type the boilers. Glass tube is used to give the noticeable signs of the water level in the boilers. And this is the furnace. So furnace is the main aim of the furnace is to give sufficient space for the fuel particles to burn the completely and to cool the flue gas to a temperature at which the heating surface and can be operated safely. And also the safety valve. So the safety valve function is they are used to stop redundant force from the construction of the boilers. And also the feed checks valve. In the feed check valve is the high force waters flows along these valves, which release to the boilers and supplies the water to the water type boilers. And also the steam stop valve. So the steam flow supplies outside is controlled by steam stop valves. And also the burner. The burner is a type of the device which is used for the outside of the air and the fuel together in the boilers at the preferred velocity. So burner is the pivotal equipments for the firing of the oil or gas. And also the superheater. So the superheater is used to increase the temperature of the steams. And the economizers, they are heat exchangers which are used to exchange heat with the fluids. Normally water. They are also used to recover the heat of the flue gas leaving the boilers and by heating the feed water. So this is the working of the water tube boilers. So thermal siphonings is the working principle of the water tube boilers. In this boiler, there consists of the two drums, specifically steams, lower or mud drums. So these two drums are connected through the two tubes, such as reserve and downcomers. So hot gas are generated when the fuel is burned, which allows the hot gas to supply in the cell part of the boilers. So the hot gas generated by the fuel will replace heat by water. The water gets changed into the steam. So increase in concentrations take place when the temperature increase. Understandably, the concentrations of the steam will be less than the waters. Hence, in the steam drums, water and the steams get split and due to the dissimilarity in the concentrations. So the steam will flow upwards, and because of the low concentrations, and the water will travel downwards and due to the high concentrations. Okay, next. This is the type of the water tube boilers. So the type of the water boilers are basically three types of the water tube boilers. The first is the simple vertical boilers. So a simple vertical boilers is a type of the boilers which generates steam at the low pressure and in small quantities. It produces a pressure almost 10 bars. Out of all the boilers, construction of the boiler is simple and straightforward. And number two is the Stirling boilers. The Stirling boiler is the bent tube externally fired stationary water tube boilers with the natural circulations. It has a pressure range of the maximum 60 bars and a steam productions of about 50,000 kilograms per hour. So the efficiency of the Stirling boilers is up to the 60% to the 80%. And number three is the Babcock and the Wilcox boilers. So in the Babcock and the Wilcox boilers is the horizontal drum, 6 natural drafts, natural circulations, and multi-tubular, stationary, high pressure, solid fuel fired, externally fired water tube boilers used to produce high pressure steam in ships for the function of the water machinery and the production of the electricity. And next, we are explain about fire tube boilers. I would like to explain about the fire tube boilers. So fire tube boilers is the type of the boilers in which hot flue gas flow inside the tube and the water is surrounded by these tubes. Comparing to the water tube boilers, these are the low pressure boilers that cannot generate that amount of heat. Because of the less heat productions, overall efficiency of this boiler is lower. The combustion of the heat and gas flows through the pipes surrounded by the waters. And just we know that the fire tube boilers are all designed boilers, all designs, and these types of the boiler were famous in the 19th century. So particularly appropriate for the train engines. So the combustions of the heat and the gas flow through the pipe surrounded by the water. So most of the times, these boilers are considered for the pressure up towards the highest of the 250 psi and around 750 horsepower. So the measurement of these boilers are done and with their external diameter. So today, this is the parts of the fire tube boilers. So the part of the fire tube boilers is consists of the safety valve. So the safety precautions must be taken to prevent any loss. As the water at the high pressures contains a lot of the energy. So safety being the reasons. Safety valve must be installed to the boilers. When the pressure is above the specified limits, then the safety valve will be opened. A minimum of the 2 safety valves are to be provided. And also the steam stop valve. In the steam stop valve, in accordance with the requirements, a stop valve is provided to handle the steam control, while the waste steams in the cell is transmitted to the superheater to reheat. So the steam which was reheated is again transmitted to the cell in this circumstance, whereas the steam stop valve is operates to be sufficient enough. And also the feed check valve. The feed check valve feed water is entered into the boilers through the feed check valve, and in addition to stop the feed water from returning, and it's used as the non-return valve. Non-return valve to increase the efficiency of the boilers, and following accessories are provided. And also the economizer, air preheater, and also the superheater. So the superheater is the efficiency of boilers will low if operated with the accessories, and also the pressure gauge. In the pressure gauge is the situated on the top of the cells. It shows of the amount of the pressures. Inspect inside the boilers. It indicates the pressures in various units like PSIs, and presently digitally typed instruments are used which sense the pressures by transducer and signal is sent to the display units. And also the water level indicators. The water level indication, the operator should be aware of the water level throughout the operation of the boilers. Otherwise, the boilers cannot handle the pressures and can cause an explosions. Hence, to avoid these problems, a water level indicator must be mounted to the cell of the boilers. And this is the type of the fire tube boilers. So in the fire tube boilers, firstly the Cochrane's boilers. The Cochrane's boilers is the fire tube boilers in which coals and gas are used to as the working fluids to generate steam, and the steam is further used for the various purpose. And this is a multi-tubular vertical fire tube boilers having numerous of the horizontal fire tubes. And in the Cochrane's boilers, the heating surface is increased by the means of the water tubes, which helps in attaining greater efficiency, and then the simple vertical boilers. This is the locomotive boilers. So the locomotive boiler is multi-tubulars, horizontal and internally fired type boilers. So this boilers is arranged horizontally and has multi-tubes. Internal combustion engine takes place and water is circulates naturally. The operation of the locomotive boilers is same as the Cochrane boilers, but there is a difference in constructions. Sign is natural circulations and the operation is fired internally. It is known to be fire tube boilers. And this is the Lancashire boilers. So the Lancashire boilers is a horizontal type and internally fired boiler as the furnace used to prevent inside of the boilers. So it is a natural circulation boiler and generate low pressure steam. So the high thermal and efficiency is about 80% until the 90%. So the size of the boilers is roughly 7 until the 9 meters in length and 2 until 3 meters in diameters. So of course, the hot flue gas are produced by the heating fuel and which then hits the water surrounded by the fire tubes. So inside of the fire tubes, the hot flue gas flow which hits the surrounded waters. So the transmission of the heat water to steams take place at the high temperature. So the waste steams and the hot steam is segregated where the steam produced. Flows. So the flows is the steams is anti-priming pipes, and furthermore, the wet steam is superheated, and the dry steam is fed to the steam stop valve. The steam generated is used to operate as the turbines, which is then used for the generation of the electricity. So of course, now we're talking about the application of the boilers. So boiler manufacturers are making use of the rapidly improving technology to build equipments that is cost efficiency, environmental friendly, and powerful. So we use boiler for operating the steam engines, operating the steam turbines, operating the reciprocating pumps, industrial process work in the chemical engineering. For producing hot water requires to be supplied to the room in the very cold areas, and in thermal power situation, and the heat content of the steam is large, and thus it is the suitable for the process heating in many industries like sugar mills, textile mills, dairy industry, and also in the chemical industry. And of course, the most common function for any boilers, whether it's in industrial or the residential boilers, is to serve as the central heating mechanisms for a home, business facility, hospital, and also the commercial complex, and Sandra. No matter what setting they are used in, so the boilers operates with the same basic function and the mechanism that works together to create a contains heat generating combustion process. So the boilers draws natural gas from the gas lines running through our streets and use this gas to fuel the combustion process for the heat creations and distribution throughout a building. So the boiler system relies on a burners to initiate the combustion process, and also the heat in the form of the steams. In the form of the steam or hot water moves through the system using pumps, radiators, and also the heat exchangers. Boiler manufacturers are making use the rapidly improving technology to build equipment that is eco-friendly, environmental friendly, and powerful. So we have take a look to the maintenance of the boilers. So the boiler maintenance should always be executed with skill and in accordance with valid rules and regulation from the authorities, and below are given some recommendation for periodical inspection and maintenance. So in the daily operation, during normal operation of the boiler, some work and check procedures have to consider every day. Firstly, we need to check the boiler steam pressure and the water level. And also we need to check that the feed water control system is operational. And also to check the boiler water condition and make necessary countermeasures with regards to the feed and the boiler water treatments if necessary blow down the boilers. And also we need to check the function of the boiler oil burners at different capacities through the inspection holes on the boilers. And also we need to check the flue gas temperature after end or the draft across the boilers if either the temperature or the draft loss is too high. And also the pin tube section must be clean. And this is the contamination. If the boilers is contaminated with the foreign substance like oil, chemicals, corrosions, products, etc., it is very important to act immediately to avoid damage to the boilers. And also the layers of tins, oil films, mud, etc., exposed to the heating surface cause the bad heat transfer in the boilers, leading to the overheating, followed by the burner out pressure parts. In order to remove such contaminations, a boiling out or the exit cleaning to have the performed immediately. That's all for me, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning.